Okay, so I want to do my second stair now, and this stair will actually give you a better idea of the things you often need to think about when you're doing stairs. The first stair was very simple in that it was a straight stair, but there was a lot more work involved around the stair, getting all the walls to join and everything else, which was all good practice. But with the next stair, there isn't as much of that. There's not as much tidying up of walls, but there's a little bit more involved when you go to draw the stair itself, which is all good practice. So I'm just going to show you on the ground floor plan, we've got this area here near the entry where the stair needs to go up, and then it continues around in an L shape on the next level, on level 1 there. So what you need to check is the width of that opening all the way along. It needs to be 1100. So you can see there mine's actually 1090, and on the ground floor I'll check that measurement again just using the ruler. I'm going to measure that, and you can see there it is 1100. So I've got a problem on my upper level. This wall, I'll just check. I think that position's correct. So the wall below must be out. So I'm going to change that now to 1100. So that's the first step, making sure that all the way along that passage it's the same width, 1100. And then going down to the ground floor again, I also want the width of this opening to be 1100 as well, and you can see that it is. So I'm ready to start setting out my stair. Before I actually draw it, I'm going to put some reference planes in for the center lines, and this is a really important tip that I'm giving you. It makes it much easier when you're drawing complex stairs if you've set out at least the center line. So I'm going to draw a reference plane through the middle of that passageway. I'm going to make sure it's 550 from one of the walls either side, and then I know it's centered in that passage. So you can see it's 550 on both sides to the wall. And then I'm going to go up to the level above, to level 1, and I'm going to draw another reference plane going through this passageway. And again, I'm going to check that the dimension to the wall there is 550. So I've got most of the lines that I need for my stair, but I'm still going to check the plan. Now, let's grab that. And I've got the wrong one. I'll just pause that video. Okay, so looking at the drawings now, I've got, so there are two risers before the landing. Okay, so also I'm just going to check the dimensions here. Yep, that's 1100. Now it's a bit of a funny old stair because for some reason they've got a what looks like a railing shown on on the first and the second flight. I'm just going to do it all the way around. I think it just makes more sense that way. And then, like I said, there's two risers before the first landing. Now they should really be set out before you try and draw that in as well. So here I've got a reference plane that's coming up from the level below. Now that's going to get in the way, so I'm just going to bring that down because this is for the front wall here. So I'm just going to stretch that down so it's not in the way of the one I'm about to do. I'm going to draw a new reference plane now. And then I'm going to change its distance from the back wall because that's where the stair is going to come up. So we've got, I'm assuming 250 risers, or so 250 treads, which will give me 500 if I've got 2 steps. Okay, you'll see once we've done all of this, then we know how long this wall is. That's why I haven't put that length in yet. Okay, so looking at this reference plane, we've got 1, 2 risers there, and that second riser is part of the landing, and then it continues around with the next riser here. It's a bit of a funny way to do it. You wouldn't really need to have the second tread as part of that landing. They could have got an extra riser in there, but anyhow, this is the way it's shown, so that's what I'm going to do it. Going up to the next level, we don't really need to work out anything more. So I'm going to go ahead and start drawing in my stairs now. Do I need any more? Oh yes, sorry, I do need one more, sorry. I need a reference plane going across this way, which is 550 from the wall below. There we are. Okay, so I've got the center line for the stairs, these 3 reference planes, going all the way around. So it comes up here, goes up along, and then comes across this way to the left. I don't really need anything more than that. I suppose to make it a bit clearer so you can see why I'm doing all of this, I may just draw one more coming across here, because that is the edge of the first step. And then it's also where the second flight begins. And I suppose it wouldn't hurt to have the end of the landing up here. You don't really need it, but again, it will just make it easier for you to see, hopefully, why I'm doing all this. Okay, so the second flight of stairs finishes here, and the landing begins there as well. So, yeah, that's all I'll do for now. So, going to the Home tab now, I'm going to use the Stairs tool. I'm going to click Edit Type and change it to the one I made before, which is called Interior Stair. Now, if you haven't got that, you can just use the default stair, which is the 120mm max riser to 250mm going. Okay, so then I've got over in properties here, the width, I want to change that to 1100. And then the risers, we need 17. So here, desired number of risers, we're going to change that to 17. So now I can draw from the center line there and count 2 risers to the right, and it should line up with the inside of the wall there. So you can see 3 risers. Now I'm not thinking, sorry, it should be 1 riser to the right, because remember the first landing is part of the first tread, sorry, second tread is part of the landing. So 1 riser, and it's really important that you don't snap to anything. So if after I've clicked on that first point, snap to this line underneath from that wall coming through there, it's going to make the riser, or sorry, the tread, not the right length. You've got to come across and let it snap to the 250 mil tread length, and you can see there that's what it's doing. So it's not snapping to the wall, it's snapping just to the right of that. And you should be able to check afterwards that it's 250 mil. And then I know from this corner to the inside of the wall is another 250 mil, but I don't want a separate tread there. I'm just going to come across this center line here and come up from there. And you can see I've got this reference plane where I want that to finish. Okay, so you can see it's putting the landing for me. And now I should be able to go to the level 1 plan. And I've gone to the wrong reference plane, so I'll just undo that. That's fine. If you make a mistake, it's easy to undo. Click on run again and I can start drawing again. I went to the wrong reference plane, I should have gone to this one. So I'll do that again. Clicking from this center line up to this reference plane. Here is the right one. There we are. So now I can come across, again, making sure I snap to the reference plane, but this time I want the intersection of the wall and the reference plane. So it starts right in line with that wall. And coming across to the left. Okay, so mine's turned out a little bit differently to what's shown in the plan. Let's just have a look there. So we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 risers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 risers I've been able to get in there. Right, so there's something wrong with this drawing, and that's often the case with hand-drawn things. Now let's just measure. Yep, so from this inside edge down to here. Ah, my dimensions are too big. That's one that I didn't check. So, yeah, it's actually me that's out. So I'm going to finish that and I'll fix up everything. So, okay, so that's fine. If you need to change things, it's easy now if you've done the setup the right way. So this distance from here to here should be 3590. Can't believe I didn't notice that before, and mine is far too big. So it's 4120, and so 4120 minus 3590. That can't be right. Sorry, 4120 minus 3590. Yep, that's 530. Okay, so I'm going to bring that up, and all I need to do there is bring up this reference plane, the one above, and the one that I've drawn to the left. So all those things can be moved up now. 530. I'll just stretch this up to make it neater. I suppose while I'm at it, I can move this wall up as well, the same amount. And now this wall just needs to be stretched up. That looks better. Okay, so now I can just try drawing the stair again. So back to stairs, and then the width 1100. Design number of risers 17. and then again starting on this intersection between the center line reference plane and the one drawn where the stairs should start and come across, making sure it snaps to the where the line wants to finish, not to another object. So that's snapping to the first tread, and it should end up being 250. And then coming along the center line up to the first reference plane. And this time I'll count my risers. So I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 risers there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 I've got. Okay, so there's something I think not right still with the drawing, unless I'm not counting my risers properly. Let's just go to the next level and I'll draw in the last steps. So clicking on run again will get me back to drawing the steps. And so I can go to the intersection between the center line there and the wall. And you can tell because they're both highlighted. Coming across to the left. And there we go, that's actually worked out perfectly. So that's what you want to be looking out for. The last step should finish in line with this wall. Now I'm just going to go to edit type and make sure it's on interior stair. Before I finish it, tick. And in my section boxed view, I can adjust the size of that to see let's bring this wall back. Okay, so that's good enough. And then the railing here only needs to be over the first flight. So I'm going to edit the path there. And I'm going to delete the segments going alongside the second and the third flight, and I'm going to delete the second segment going alongside the first flight, and I'm going to extend the first segment there so that it goes to the wall. So I'm just going to have a slope that goes from the first step and follows that all the way to the wall. And then finally, to finish that off, I'm going to move it just slightly down, let's say 30 mil. Now, it's little details like this that, again, you often don't pick up until you model in 3D, and often the builders will still work it out for you, but they shouldn't have to, and this should be, again, something you think about when you're doing your designs. So I'm going to finish this, and you'll see if I look at it in the section boxed view, now I've got a railing that follows the steps. Now I'm going to go to section box and just drag that out a little bit more so I can see the other railing. Now it can just be changed to handrail pipe wall, so it should just go alongside the wall, but then in plan I can bring that across. Now I'm just going to check on this one, how far did that come, 50 mil? Yep. Okay, so I'm just going to bring that one across the same amount, so I'll just finish this, go to the new one, edit path, and then rather than moving each segment, I'm just going to use offset, put in an offset value there, 50 on the options bar, turn off copy, and then click on each line, making sure it goes in the right direction. Finish, and in the section box view you can see now that the handrail goes along inside the wall. Later on we can match this handrail to the other one, so it's got a similar shape, but for now I could just maybe set that to 900mm pipe, and that's close enough. And then finally, to finish this off, in plan you can stretch this wall across so that it's now coming to where the stairs finish, and then in the section box view again I'll adjust the section box itself to get an idea how the stairs resolve on that level. So that works fairly well. Might have a stringer on this side eventually, but for now that's good enough. And then very last thing to finish this off is a hole. Now sorry, I've also got the stairs coming up too high there. If you see that happening, just check the desired number of rises. That should be 17. Okay, so then in my 3D view I can select the floor, go to my plan, edit boundary, and I'm going to just use pick lines to pick the edge of the stair and then the wall on each side. Trim, it's just a matter of thinking about where the floor would be taken away here. So that's the finished shape of that floor. Tick to finish, and again no to attach, but yes to join geometry. So in the section box view you can see now I've got the stairs coming up fairly clearly, but again there are issues with the walls that need to be resolved now. And again, until you model up everything in 3D, it's hard to appreciate all of these issues. So I bet you know it, none of you would have thought about the walls that come through from the ground floor that go through those stairs, the walls here next to the bathroom. But you can see all of that clearly in 3D, and this is why builders really like people who model everything in a program like Revit. So quite easy to fix that if I just stretch it down by eye here. You get a message like this, you can always just click Unjoin Elements. This one's a bit trickier because I can't just stretch it down, since it needs to remain at this height going alongside that floor there. So I'm going instead to use Edit Profile, and in a section view, let's see which one I've got. Yep, that one works well. So I can see there the height that wall needs to be taken down to. So I can draw a reference plane across there. Let's see. Yeah, now, I mean I could do it here, but actually I might just cancel that one and I'll make a new section just so it's easier for you to see what I'm doing. So I'll just draw a section right through the middle of this stair. And it always helps to do that when you're not sure about what's happening in 3D. Draw a section through it, and it does make it much easier to work out what's going on. So now, also before I fix it, I might just adjust this floor a little bit more. So back in plan, edit boundary, and technically this isn't 100% correct, but if you bring the line of the floor to the other side of those walls, and just make it easier to tidy up. From a construction point of view, it's not correct, but we're not rebuilding the house, so that's okay. So back in the section box view, there we are. That's a bit cleaner. Have to work out something here. I'll do that in a minute. So, so now I can select my wall back in my new section. Use edit profile. And it's a slightly tricky detail. Basically, the edge of the wall above you can use to set out where this wall needs to come down, and then below the landing, and then with trim you can join those lines together. There we go. So it's just cut a chunk out of the wall, finish, and then in section box you can see that wall now doesn't intersect the stairs. Now the wall I've got below is causing some problems, so I'm actually just going to move that. Yeah, I'm going to move that down. I think I'm sure some of the dimensions on these drawings are wrong, so I'm actually going to move that wall down because then it works in a 3D model. And then this wall again could just be stretched down, but before you do that you need to check the join condition. So I want to stretch this wall down, but I want this wall here to continue at its full height. So I'm going to use wall joins, select the wall, check the wall join. So there we go. And just using next, I can switch that so it comes across. So there we are, that wall now extends across all the way to the end, and this wall can be adjusted. Bring it down, unjoin elements if you need to, and then again this wall will need to have a section box, a section duct, a profile I mean, done so that it can be taken down below the stairs. So again, edit profile. And here you could just pick the edges of your stairs. So that's it, finish, and that's the last major part that needs to be taken away to get those stairs to have nothing in the way of them. There is a little bit of wall that's been left out on the final part of those stairs. Now you could bring this wall above down, but it's probably easier just to edit the wall that goes alongside it, the same way you did on the lower ground floor. Edit profile, have a look at it in your section view, and so you can see there how that needs to be brought across so that it follows the angle of your steps. I know this can all be a little bit tricky to follow when you're just watching it, but when you do this, you'll hopefully think about all these issues and why you're doing them. There we go. So that's all done now. And I'll just bring my section box view back a bit so that you can see inside. Okay, so that's all now nice and tidy. And finally using a base offset on this wall and making that -150. Cover over the edge of the floor, join geometry, and we can join all those walls together. And you might even think, well, how are you ever going to remember all these steps? The trick is to think about the construction that's required. If you're always thinking about those things, then you shouldn't have too many issues. We do have one other wall that needs to be adjusted, but that's only necessary if you're going to see inside that bathroom, and you may not. So I'll leave that one out for now. But if you're going to see either the inside of the bathroom or the inside of this flight of stairs, then you'd need to fill that gap in as well. You know, something that's not shown in any of the plans, so you only work that out when you start modelling in 3D. I'll leave that one out for now. That's more than enough, I think.